is that Indonesia's greatest victory ever that they had.
Yes.
Now, this is more just about this window. I think that was phenomenal from Indonesia. The way they just dismantled, you know, they had a win in the 2007 Asian Cup. Obviously, they beat Vietnam earlier this year in the Asian Cup, but that performance I thought was phenomenal from Indonesia overall. Like Marcelino to score those 2 goals and to have that is the aura celebration like Roman Reigns. Put the finger up and everybody just look at me.
I was gonna ask you, if you're Indonesian, I mean, if I offered you 3rd place after 6 games, 6 points, you've already played Japan once, do you take that deal given the state of how crazy this group is and that they're technically also tied for last on points, just goal differential making the difference?
I think.
Would you take it?
No. I think if it's this tight, man, you got to go for 2nd place. You got to give everything to go for 2nd place. You got to make calls to Rafael Stroik every week and be like, how you doing, man? You doing good?
Make sure he's okay. Yeah. Give him a massage.
Scoring in training, you know, just stuff like that. Get everyone on a nice morale, bro, because I honestly didn't think it'd be this good 6 matches in. They're a point behind automatic qualification.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's why I think you take the deal. You do, but the caveat is crazy, bro. Because last place is staring at you in the face right now, but they're 1 point from 2nd place. They win both matches in their next window. I know that's saying a lot here, but they win both. That could basically do it for them and automatically qualify them to the World Cup, bro. Indonesia has finally gotten their first victory in this tournament, and my goodness, was it in stunning fashion as Marcelino Ferdinand, the magnificent Marcelino, with a brace in this game at home, shutting down Hervé Renard's Saudi Arabia squad and defeating Saudi Arabia specifically for the first time in Indonesia's history. This is history right here, with a massive 3 points that now puts them in 3rd place and gives them that momentum, gives them that moment that I think they've been chasing for a while now.
Exactly. This is their first victory in World Cup qualifying campaign for 2026. It's deserved. They've gotten very close several times throughout these last couple months. They finally get it. We saw in that first fixture against Saudi Arabia that Indonesia probably should have won that match. So I was very excited to see that they were now going to act as hosts to this very, very weak and confused Saudi side. And from the moment go in this match, you could tell Indonesia were ready for this game. They immediately attacked Saudi Arabia. They were able to create a couple of chances. Saudi Arabia actually settled it down, though. They got on the ball. They actually imposed themselves against Indonesia and made them defend as well. But then Ferdinand showed up. He shows up big, gets the ball in the box, little pump fake,
nice
and then
fake,
drills it. A beautiful fake. Indonesia go up 1-0. It's absolute scenes.
It's scenes, dude. And that's what makes me happy, because we've been seeing the atmospheres that they can provide for this team, but they've had to settle for draws or a couple losses, especially after the game we saw against Japan as well, happening at home. To give them this performance, I think, was fitting. And then Ferdinand, I mean, swagged out, man, feeling himself with that kudu celebration after the 2nd goal with the beautiful chip shot improvisation over the goalkeeper to give them the 2-0 lead. Goes and sits down on the chair. I love moments like that. And Indonesia was just, it was a party, bro. It was a party as they get 3 massive points here. And for Saudi Arabia, man, I mean, I want to come and ask you the question. Do you think Hervé Renard can save this team?
No. And that's the thing. When I saw that Renard got called back to be coach of Saudi Arabia, let's remember he was the coach for the entire 2022 campaign. So it makes sense that they go back to a guy who was probably in charge of one of the most successful Saudi Arabian teams of all time. It makes sense. But we were saying this since the Asian Cup in January. It's not even Mancini's fault that he couldn't succeed with this team. The players just simply don't have the talent anymore, man.
Wow.
They boast the worst offense out of all 18 teams in Asian World Cup qualifying. They only have 3 goals, man.
Right.
They only have 3
Bro, 3
goals.
in 6 games?
It's pathetic,
They used to score that many in one match back in 2018,
Exactly,
dude.
man. Exactly.
God.
That's why I have no faith in this side and no disrespect to Renard, but he's given an impossible impossible task here. Honestly, they actually played a little bit better today compared to the Mancini games that we saw in September and October. But it's not enough, man. The players just don't have it anymore. And just the young players, we've talked about this for the last couple of months, the young players that are here simply just don't have that same magic, that same intensity, that same fluidity of Saudi Arabian players of the past.
Completely agreed, dude. I think it'll be a win if they're able to make it any of that third or fourth qualification spot, given the state of this team offensively. For Indonesia, man, things are going to get very exciting because, yes, this group is crazy overall, but we do have a big Indonesian contingent that watches the show. Their next two matches, Australia and Bahrain. Dude, this is it. This is it right here. And especially that Bahrain match specifically, man, is shaping up to be an absolute thriller with Indonesia hosting that match. It's going to get crazy, bro. It's going to get crazy as Indonesia sits in third place now, Saudi Arabia in fourth.
This is going to be honestly defining these next two matches for Indonesia. It's going to get really emotional, man, because we've seen in every game, I guess minus the Japan game, Indonesia get very, very close to winning. And finally, they were able to pull it off here. I just get scared in the sense that, what if Ferdinand's not the one scoring goals? Where is it really going to come from? We saw in this match against Saudi Arabia, Rafael Struijk get several opportunities. Wasted every single one of them, man. And he either fluffed his shot, made the wrong decision. It was honestly really disappointing because Indonesia, we know, in space are so threatening. And if Ferdinand's not finishing these chances, I get worried that the rest of Indonesia is going to waste those chances. So the other players outside of Ferdinand are going to have to step up in front of goal if Indonesia want to qualify for this World Cup. The thing is, the energy's there, the spacing's there, the defense is now there. We said the defense has greatly improved, and it has. They got a clean sheet today. The problem is I just get worried if other strikers aren't going to show up.
Yeah, no, we had Ragnar also, I think, had an opportunity today that he couldn't put past the goalkeeper. And either this one or the Japan game, I remember. But Indonesia, I think that's one of the biggest storylines is the experience of the team. You know, maybe they don't end up having that killer threat, but at the very least, this team is so young that in the future, they can look back on this qualifying campaign and build off of that. But I'm still hoping that they get to the World Cup because I was going to ask you, if you're Indonesian, I mean, if I offered you third place after 6 games, 6 points, you've already played Japan once, do you take that deal given the state of how crazy this group is and that they're technically also tied for last on points, just goal differential making the difference?
I think.
Would you take it?
No. I think if it's this tight, man, you got to go for second place. You got to give everything to go for second place. You got to make calls to Rafael Struijk every week and be like, how you doing, man? You doing good?
Make sure he's okay.
Yeah.
Give him a massage.
Scoring and training,
man.
you know, just stuff like that. Get everyone on a nice morale, bro, because I honestly didn't think it'd be this good 6 matches in. They're a point behind automatic qualification.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's why I think you take the deal. You do, but the caveat is crazy, bro. Because last place is staring at you in the face right now, but they're 1 point from second place. They win both matches in their next window. I know that's saying a lot here, but they win both. That could basically do it for them and automatically qualify them to the World Cup, bro. A ridiculous opportunity here. For Indonesia, and you could say the same for basically all the teams here as well.
Yeah, you could.
And the reason we're so focused on that second place position is because, I mean, nothing is more clear in this region than Japan's dominance.
Kita mendengar komentar mereka saja itu tentang permainan timnas Indonesia itu bikin kita panas, terbakar. Makin hari makin kita pengennya cepat-cepat. Kalau bisa cepat-cepat timnas Indonesia ketemu Bahrain. Kalau bisa timnas Indonesia cepat-cepat ketemu Australia dan Cina. Ya kalau Jepang ya kita bisa dapat 1 poin saja itu ya sudah beruntung ya. Tapi untuk 3 pertandingan lawan Australia, Bahrain dan Cina wajib. Itu wajib. Meskipun kita tahu bahwa ya susah-susah gampang, tapi kita lihat permainan sepak bola, saya tidak sabar lagi untuk menonton timnas kita bermain di laga selanjutnya, teman-teman.
Sentuh tentang Indonesia yang baru-baru ini mencipta sejarah. Indonesia adalah satu-satunya wakil Asia Tenggara di peringkat pusingan ketiga kelayakan Piala Dunia, the final stage. Dan baru-baru ini mereka mencipta sejarah sebagai pasukan dengan pencapaian terbaik di pusingan ketiga kelayakan Piala Dunia dalam sejarah bola sepak Asia Tenggara. Sebelum ini aku rasa Vietnam pernah ke third round, Thailand pernah ke third round, tetapi Indonesia dah collect 6 point.
Dan
Which
lebih
is
daripada mereka.
the best achievement.
Wow.
Menewaskan rekod yang dicapai oleh Thailand dan juga Vietnam. Indonesia, window kali ini, mereka tewas di tangan Jepun. Dan kemudiannya, Indonesia menewaskan Arab Saudi 2-0.
Saudi Arabia kan?
Dengan 2 jaringan daripada bintang muda Marcelino Ferdinand. Di mana kita nak mula, Aiman?
Kita breeze through Jepun.
Yes.
Yang mana aku merasakan sebelum mereka bolos gol pertama itu sepatutnya dah boleh 2-0 di depan. Tapi ia membawakan satu aura dan juga yang membawa jadi satu teaser kepada perlawanan selepas itu, iaitu lawan dengan Arab Saudi, yang mana aku tak tahu Arab Saudi dia tengah ada masalah ke apa ke, ataupun Indonesia memang dah lain macam. Dia boleh jadi antara dua ataupun kedua-duanya sekali.
Let's talk about Jepun sedikit. Perlawanan Jepun ni aku tak terkejut. Sebab
Betul itu.
walaupun Indonesia ada pasukan yang terkuat mereka ke apa, nak lawan Jepun ni is not like kau nak lawan any other pasukan di Asia.
Ya,
Aku
betul.
letakkan macam ni lah, Aiman. Aku letakkan Jepun di sini, kemudiannya gergasi-gergasi Asia lain di sini.
Termasuk Korea Selatan?
Ya. For me, Japan is no longer just an Asian giant.
Ya.
Aku dan Faiz pernah borak benda ni. Pandangan kami adalah Jepun sekarang ini is a genuine contender untuk menang World Cup. That's how good they are.
Wow.
That's how good this Japanese team is. Ini adalah pasukan Jepun terbaik yang pernah kita nampak dalam
Ya,
sejarah.
betul itu.
The strongest Japanese team in the history of the competition. In the history of football. Dan kalau anda tengok pasukan kesebelasan pertama, anda tengok dia orang punya bench pun dah tak masuk akal dah sekarang ni. So it is no surprise yang pasukan Jepun ini menewaskan Indonesia dengan skor sebegitu. That's why aku cakap lawan Jepun ni jangan expect anything. Kalau dapat mata, kalau
Betul
dapat
itu.
cipta kejutan, it's a bonus. Tapi kalau kalah, we pick ourselves and we move on.
Biarkan.
Iya, betul
We
itu.
move on to the next one because it's Japan.
Cumanya mungkin peminat-peminat Indonesia dan aku sendiri yang melihat dari whistle pertama ke whistle terakhir, aku merasakan ada peluang itu jika tidak kerana penjaga gol yang menyelamatkan 2-1 lawan 1.
Ya.
Aku merasakan kalau Indonesia skor dulu, atmosfer pasti sangat-sangat berbeza dan aku merasakan mungkin Indonesia boleh dapat something daripada perlawanan tu.
Yeah. So, bagi aku, kita tolak tepi perlawanan tersebut because a defeat is a defeat and it's Japan to begin with.
Japan.
Aku tak nak overanalyze perlawanan tersebut lah. Sebab it's Japan, right? But then comes Saudi Arabia. Ini bukan Arab Saudi di bawah Roberto Mancini. Ini adalah Arab Saudi di bawah Hervé Renard. Individu yang membantu mereka menewaskan Argentina di Piala Dunia 2022. Ketua jurulatih yang sangat berpengalaman dan memiliki reputasi yang cukup besar. Tetapi kemasukan dia semula masih gagal membantu Arab Saudi mendapat apa-apa di Gelora Bung Karno because Indonesia that night, Aiman. Pasukan yang dua benda yang diorang got on point. Dua benda. Satu is struktur, cara mereka bertahan, komitmen kepada setiap aksi-aksi defensif, komitmen kepada menghentikan segala asakan dan peluang yang cuba dicipta oleh Arab Saudi. But second, counter attack setup. Setup counter attack daripada mereka sangat luar biasa. Dan itu yang bagi aku became the foundation kepada satu aksi yang betul-betul memukau di Gelora Bung Karno.
Aku setuju dengan counter attack, dua gol. Tapi satu perkara yang aku sangat suka ialah atmosfer di Gelora Bung Karno itu sendiri. Mereka tahu mereka datang sebagai underdog. Tapi aku teringat, aku ada lihat satu posting bersama dengan komentator di sana iaitu Descott Hill. Descott Hill kata apa? Kalau Indonesia mahukan result, mereka akan memerlukan peminat-peminat untuk berada di belakang mereka, nyanyi, chanting, bising untuk 90 minit untuk dapatkan sesuatu, dan sememangnya itu inspirasi yang dah dibawa oleh penyokong-penyokong sell out crowd di game itu. sehingga membuatkan mereka buatlah apa saja 50-50. Dah macam nak pergi perang. Dah memang macam berperang pemain-pemain ini. Dan apa yang lebih manisnya, gol-gol itu dijaringkan oleh apa yang boleh mereka sifatkan sebagai one of their own. Marcelino Ferdinand, seorang pemain muda yang memang kita dah tahu bakatnya untuk 2-3 tahun kebelakangan ini. Tapi game itu adalah pada aku defining moment. Kerana Marcelino Ferdinand, bila aku ingat balik, aku ada mengulas game Indonesia lawan Iraq di Under 23 third place playoff. Yang mana siapa menang boleh pergi ke Olimpik. Aku teringat Marcelino Ferdinand dalam perlawanan itu macam ada sesuatu yang ingin dibuktikan. Terlalu. Pada aku, dia ada sesuatu yang ingin dibuktikan. Of course, itu adalah satu perkara yang bagus. Tapi kadang-kadang membawa itu terlalu. Agak melampau. Yang mana cuba untuk melakukan semua perkara secara bersendirian sehingga kan dikritik oleh peminat-peminat dan juga pandit di sana. Tapi
komentator dari Malaysia yang mereka memantau perkembangan sepak bola Indonesia. Dan pendapat mereka kurang lebih hampir sama dengan komentator dari negara lainnya. Mereka menganggap bahwa permainan sepak bola timnas kita itu sangat luar biasa sekali. Mengalami perkembangan yang sangat masif. Ya, mereka juga pendapat bahwa ketika berlawanan dengan Jepang, ya kita tidak perlu harus menaruh ekspektasi tinggi-tinggi amat seperti apa yang dikatakan oleh Bung Toel ya teman-teman, yang terlalu mencari celah, yang ngotot harus menang lawan Jepang ya. Padahal kita tahu formasi pemain Jepang ini sangat-sangat luar biasa hebat sekali. Ya, memiliki harapan itu tidak masalah, tapi memaksakan untuk harus ini, saya yakin hanya akan membawa luka ya. Atau mencari kesalahan dari timnas, para pemain, pelatih, itu sebuah kebodohan yang sangat jelas sekali ya teman-teman semua.
Is that Indonesia's greatest victory ever that they had?
Yes.
Now this is more just about this window. I think that was phenomenal from Indonesia. The way they just dismantled, they had a win in the 2007 Asian Cup. Obviously, they beat Vietnam earlier this year in the Asian Cup, but that performance I thought was phenomenal from Indonesia overall. Like Marcelino, to score those 2 goals and to have that is the aura celebration like Roman Reigns. Put the finger up and everybody just look at me. Marcelino knew exactly what he was doing, and he fully deserved it. I think for Indonesia, look, they get some hate from people outside of Indonesia because they talk a lot, they have a lot of confidence. They can have all the smack talk they want for this. They could be the Conor McGregor of Asian football right now. For the performance they did to win that game, they fully deserve it. I'm actually very happy for them because they're extremely passionate about football. You could talk about Qatar, you could talk about other nations. Oh, do they really have passion for football? Indonesians, they will die for football at this moment in time. So for me, that's their greatest victory ever. To do that to a powerhouse Asian team like Saudi Arabia, and for Verdonk turned into beast mode Roberto Carlos prime-esque in that game. I thought it was unbelievable. So for Indonesia, they've had some good performances. They've obviously drawn with Saudi Arabia, they've drawn with Australia. But to get that marquee victory, when you look at like a schedule in college football or college basketball, they're always like, do they have that marquee win? Indonesia got it right now. Now, let's see how they do. 4 games to go. They still got to play Japan away. I think that's the last game. Is their World Cup dream alive? Let's see. But for me, that's their biggest victory ever in their history. Do you agree?
Indonesia got a marquee win before Uzbekistan.
Wow.
Tell me, I'll wait. Who did Uzbekistan beat?
Are you specifically talking about this round?
I'm talking, we can go back to last year and a half. Who Uzbekistan beat?
Yeah.
They didn't really beat anybody marquee at the Asian Cup. They only beat Thailand. Yeah, this might be it. Wow. Indonesia actually got a powerhouse victory over Uzbekistan. That is crazy.
That's not hate. This was my biggest issue when I was doing the rankings with Uzbekistan. They were like, "Oh, we're top 4, we're top 3." I'm like, "You haven't beat anybody." And they're like, "Oh, Jordan, Iraq." I'm like, Iraq beat Japan. Jordan beat Iraq. Jordan beat Saudi Arabia. Jordan beat South Korea. Who have you beat? Nobody. I'm very proud of Indonesia. I know people think I'm an Indonesia hater. Ridiculous. Shin Tae-yong's one of my favorite managers. That guy, lifelong contract. We said that episode 1, bro. Roll the tape. Episode 1.
Get the statue, everything. Gold statue.
Dude, they were losing games, and we were still like, no, he's the GOAT. All right? So we need to put that narrative aside. This is what I've been waiting on. This is what I've been harping on with Indonesia. Because they were in that Venezuela territory where it's like, okay, these draws are great. Beat somebody good. And now you took down Saudi Arabia, and not just Saudi Arabia with dad back in the house. Renard, we're expecting a masterclass. You know, Poppy's home. He's going to completely rejuvenate the team. And not only did you beat them 2-0. You had way scarier chances.
Should have been 4-0.
Saudi Arabia created. Should have been 4-0. So this isn't even Indonesia won 2-0 against Saudi Arabia, and they were lucky. No. Indonesia beat Saudi Arabia 2-0, and it could have been more. That's the headline here. That's why it's the biggest win ever for them. I'm sure when they were still a colony of the Netherlands, they probably drew France 1-1. Respectfully, nobody cares. This is by far the biggest result. And this is one of the biggest results from Southeast Asia ever.
Yeah, no, never got a marquee victory like this. Never. Let's not forget, Indonesia drew with Australia as well, 0-0. The only time where Indonesia has looked like a subpar team was against Japan. But everybody's looking subpar against Japan at the moment. I thought, Marcelino, this guy needs to start every game. He is so good on the counterattack. The runs in behind, he's the only player, and I talked about this in my video, shameless plug, is that he's the only one who looks like confident in front of the goal. Every other player, Struik, Ragnar, they look frightened by the big goal. Marcelino's like, give me the ball, and I'll put the ball in the back of the net. He's the Kyrie Irving of this team. Give him the ball, and he'll do the magic. Unbelievable performance. And the celebration, truly warranted.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was the one mistake.
Itis as well, is the he might be one of the best center backs in AFC. Beast.
Wow.
Ooh. I'm not ready.
I know
yet.
The performance.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready
the
yet.
Performance against Japan wasn't good, but Itis, the dude is doing God's work with the way he's defending sometimes.
So we're counting Verdonk as an outside defender.
Yeah, he's a left back. Yeah, left wing back.
Okay.
Like that.
Okay. Dude, where does he rank right now in the AFC left backs? Man. He's top 3 for sure.
What about Marcelino? Are we gonna soon put him at that sort of pedestal at like Faisalayev, like those sort of up and coming stars of AFC, like Faisalayev, Ali Jazim, and those sort of guys? Is Marcelino soon gonna get into that VIP club?
He's damn close. I was gonna say that's the one mistake I think Shin Tae-yong made was not playing him enough. I think maybe he fell too in love with some of the Dutch guys coming over. You gotta play Marcelino. Have to.
Yep.
Have to, because he's also the local guy too. I think it's really important for the fan base as well to see that guy out there. And it's not from charity; it's because he's the truth. So I think the only thing keeping him out of the Ali Jassim discussion is playing time. Ali Jassim playing a lot for Iraq. We just need to see a couple more performances from Marcelino. How Struik gets more minutes than him, I don't understand that. I don't. I really don't. Okay. I got another takeaway here on the opposite side of things. It's kind of a sad takeaway. Apologies for that. Still drop a like in the video. I think the state of goalkeeping in Asia is quite concerning to me. And I think it's lagging behind the development of the rest of the pitch. We talked in the other video very briefly about the ability for Asian goalkeepers to play out from the back. And I'm currently compiling a document. It's not done yet.
Oh, God.
This
document ain't gonna look good.
I'm telling you so far.
It's gonna look like WikiLeaks.
Bro, it is. Yeah, I'm definitely getting put on a watch list after publishing this from several federations because they don't want their goalkeepers to get exposed this badly. I'll just say overall, I've only done a couple goalkeepers, including Martin Pies. No goalkeeper that I've done yet, I haven't done Zion Suzuki, has a pass completion rate of 50% or higher.
50% or higher, nobody.
50%. 50%.
Ada catatan penting yang harus menjadi pegangan buat Coach Seng Tayong ya, yaitu harus memberikan menit bermain lebih banyak lagi untuk Marcelino Ferdinand, karena nih anak sangat-sangat luar biasa sekali. Wow, timnas Indonesia memberikan sebuah kemenangan yang sangat luar biasa sekali buat kita sebagai masyarakat Indonesia dan juga seluruh dunia. Mereka terkejut dengan permainan timnas Indonesia. Itu sangat luar biasa sekali dan harapan mereka Indonesia bisa lolos kualifikasi Piala Dunia dan bermain. Itu harapan kita semua, teman-teman semua.
Apa yang saya tengok, pembangunan belia Indonesia, pasukan Indonesia ni banyak sangat ketara, dan kita boleh tengok jugalah beberapa pemain yang pernah bermain dekat Korea yang perform pun, ada yang bermain dekat Thailand juga. So tapi bagi saya lah, apa yang mereka lakukan sekarang, liga diorang pun sangat berjalan dengan lancar. Fans dekat sana of course ekstrim, tapi untuk pembangunan banyak kelab, bila banyak kelab, banyak pembangunan, banyak pemain muda yang boleh bermain untuk pasukan kebangsaan. Walaupun ada ramai pemain import, tapi peluang untuk pemain muda dia bermain di peringkat tertinggi sangat banyak. So that's why pemain muda di sana sangat cukup bagus.
Tentu saja kemajuan sepak bola Indonesia itu karena manajemennya bagus, pemimpin yang di dalam itu juga bagus. Kalau tidak, saya tidak yakin akan mencapai di tahap ini. Sekali lagi, prestasi itu tidak selalu berbicara tentang mendapatkan trofi dan lain sebagainya, tapi perkembangan sepak bola, banyak sorotan media untuk kita dan negara kita makin dipandang tidak dengan sebelah mata. Itu sebuah prestasi yang besar. So, teman-teman semua, mari kita dukung terus langkah PSSI di bawah kepemimpinan Pak Erick Thohir untuk memajukan sepak bola Indonesia untuk berjaya berkancah di international. Peace.